This is the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation.
It's precisely 6:15. This is the news on Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. News is edited by Dulmin Samarasinghe and read by Sabrina Zawahir. First, the headlines. The ringleader of Easter Sunday terror attacks identified. The renovated PETA floating market will be vested with the public tomorrow. Financial assistance given to recultivate tea increased. Police launch special operations to nab drunken drivers. And in world news, global COVID-19 death toll surpasses 3 million amid new infections resurgence. And in sports news, North Korea skips Tokyo Olympic Games over COVID-19 fears. Now the local news in detail. Minister of Public Security Sarath Weerasekara says Naufur Maulavi, who is currently in remand custody, has been identified as the ringleader of Easter Sunday terror attacks. The minister's remarks came during a special media briefing held this afternoon. He said Naufur Maulavi is allegedly the theoretician of the now-banned organisation National Tawheed Jamaat. According to Minister Weerasekara, Naufur Maulavi was involved in bringing down the ideology of Islamic State to Sri Lanka in 2014. The Public Security Minister further said Naufur Maulavi is also the person who brainwashed Zaharan Hashim into following the IS ideology. The PETA floating market, which has been renovated under the directives of Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa, will be vested with the public tomorrow. The Urban Development Authority has carried out renovations spending over 30 million rupees. The market, consisting of 103 stalls, was opened in 2014 when President Gotabaya Rajapaksa was the Defence Secretary. The financial assistance given to recultivate tea has been increased. The Cabinet has approved a proposal by the Minister of Plantations to increase the amount from 400,000 to 500,000 rupees per 1 hectare of land. The total tree production in 2019 is 300 million kilograms. 75% of that has been produced by tea smallholders. A high cost has to be incurred to recultivate tea, and it takes 4 years to earn an income out of that. Minister Keheli Rambukwella said today that the amount was increased to encourage recultivation of tea. The Cabinet has also approved to abolish Tourism Act No. 38 of 2005 and to introduce a new bill. The Tourism Minister has submitted the relevant proposal. Minister Keheli Rambukwella said that it was decided to introduce a new act for sustainable development of the tourism industry. This news is brought to you by Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation.
The Speed Investment Plan from Sri Lanka Insurance. Give a high five to life.
Continuing local news, Police Media spokesman DIG Ajit Rohana says that operations have been enhanced to nab drunken drivers. He said special operations will be launched from Saturday. Strict laws will be enforced on expressways. The DIG said that the drunken drivers arrested will be remanded until the end of the festive season. The auspicious time to anoint oil in the new year falls at 7:15 a.m. on 17th Saturday. The state oil anointing ceremony will be held under the patronage of President Gotabaya Rajapaksa and Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa at Kalaniya Vidyalankara Pirivena. Former parliamentarians Ashumar Singha, Sandeepa Samarasinghe and Kasturi Anuradhanayaka arrived at the Sri Lanka Standards Institute today to request Director General Siddhika Senaratne to reveal the procedures and the produce of food with toxins. They were not allowed to enter the institute, and their complaint has been recorded by an official of the institute. Meanwhile, Venerable Medille Panyaloka Thera and Venerable Aguragale Siri Jinananda Thera arrived at Standards Institute to hand over the letter. The letter has been accepted by an official of the institute. It has been inquired about the organizations that produce substandard food. With that, we end the local news. The main news story follows.
Introducing Speed Investment with Sri Lanka Insurance, the only insurance policy that increases your sum assured by 5% every year for the same premium amount. You also get a bonus payment at maturity. What better plan to have when you can invest now and relax later? The Speed Investment Plan from Sri Lanka Insurance. Give a high five to life. Sri Lanka Insurance. Like a father, like a mother.
The main news story is brought to you by Siddhalepa Vedamahatmya.
Tomorrow is the World Health Day. From its inception at the First Health Assembly in 1948 and coming into effect since 1950, many countries around the world have been celebrating the World Health Day on the 7th of April. In 2018, the World Health Organization celebrated its 70th anniversary in Sri Lanka. It is the first time that WHO celebrated its anniversary outside its headquarters in Geneva. That was our main news story.
The main news story was brought to you by Siddhalepa Vedamahatmya.
In Watchlight, the University Grants Commission stated it has been decided to recommence the academic activities of universities via alternative methods. Chairman of UGC, Professor Sampath Amaratunga, said that the academic activities temporarily halted due to COVID-19 will recommence after the upcoming Sinhala and Tamil New Year festival under strict health safety precautions. The University Administrative Authority had previously decided to recommence academic activities in April after students are vaccinated against the virus. That came to you in Watchlight. A bulletin of world news follows.
World News. Brought to you by courtesy of
the best discount in this out of the season. People's Leasing Polybasi. Enjoy an interest rebate of 25% from People's Leasing for all the leasing facilities during this out of the season. Call 011-206-300 for more details. Conditions apply.
People's Leasing, the trusted leader.
The headlines of the world news. Global COVID-19 death toll surpasses 3 million amid new infections resurgence. WHO reveals it does not back vaccination passports for now. Russia says in talks to make more military equipment in India. Now the world news in detail. Coronavirus-related deaths worldwide crossed 3 million today as the latest global resurgence of COVID-19 infections is challenging vaccination efforts across the globe. Worldwide, COVID-19 deaths are rising once again, especially in Brazil and India. Health officials blame more infectious variants that were first detected in the United Kingdom and South Africa, along with public fatigue with lockdowns and other restrictions. The World Health Organization does not back requiring vaccination passports for entry or exit due to uncertainty over whether inoculation prevents transmission of the virus as well as equity concerns. WHO spokeswoman Margaret Harris added at a UN news briefing the WHO now expects to review China's COVID-19 vaccines Sinopharm and Sinovac for possible emergency use, listing around the end of April as more data is required. Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov said in New Delhi today that Russia and India are discussing the possibility of additional production of Russian military equipment in India. Speaking at a joint news conference with India's Foreign Minister Subramaniam Jaishankar, Lavrov did not specify what kind of equipment could be made in India. But officials from both countries have said their governments have been discussing for some years the possibility of making Russian military helicopters in India. That ends World News. Prior to concluding the World News, the headlines of the World News once again. Global COVID-19 death toll surpasses 3 million amid new infections resurgence. WHO reveals it does not back vaccination passports for now. Russia says in talks to make more military equipment in India. With that, we conclude the world news. Next up is the development news.
World News. Brought to you by courtesy of
The best discount in this Urdu season, People's Leasing Polybasi. Enjoy an interest rebate of 25% from People's Leasing for all the leasing facilities during this Urdu season. Call 011-206-300 for more details. Conditions apply.
People's Leasing, the trusted leader.
Development News is brought to you by CIB Nivea offer valuable gift vouchers for every bill payment during 1st to 10th April. 20% discount for bank card holders. Our place, our product. CIB.
With support from the United States, the Colombo Law Society recently launched a mobile application that provides members with access to online legal resources and court calendars. With court calendars and law reports at their fingertips, lawyers will be able to better serve the public. The mobile application was funded by the U.S. government's Agency for International Development, and it is the first of its kind for Sri Lankan professional legal associations. That was Development News.
Development News was brought to you by CIB Nivea offer valuable gift vouchers for every bill payment during 1st to 10th April. 20% discount for bank card holders. Our place, our product. CIB.
In sports news, North Korea has announced it will not take part in the Tokyo Olympics this year, saying the decision is to protect its athletes from COVID-19. The decision puts an end to South Korea's hopes of using the Games to engage with the North amid stalled cross-border talks. In 2018, both sides entered a joint team at the Winter Olympics, which led to a series of historic summits. Pyongyang says it has no cases of the virus, but experts say this is unlikely. That was sports news. Next up is the business news.
Contributory deposit of 1,000 rupees from NSB when your child enters grade 1. Open a Hapan Children's Service account for your kid today. Higher interest. Conditions apply. Business News. Sponsored by National Savings Bank. The safest place for your money.
Sanasa Development Bank PLC plans to issue up to 8,800,000 new ordinary voting shares to the public via a secondary public offering with a view to further improve the bank's capital adequacy ratios and to partly finance the envisaged growth in the loan portfolio in the near term. The bank is scheduled to announce the issue price 3 market days prior to its extraordinary general meeting. That ends Business News.
Business News. Sponsored by National Savings Bank. The safest place for your money. Contributory deposit of 1,000 rupees from NSB when your child enters grade 1. Open a Hapan Children's Service account for your kid today. Higher interest. Conditions apply.
Economic News, courtesy of
I bought my daughter a laptop for her work by managing my finances. Whatever the expenses may be, I can't afford to miss out on life's special moments like her birthday or our anniversary. So you need to invest to make your family's future flourish.
Saving money isn't easy when you have responsibilities. That's why we promise to give you the best returns and guarantee on your investment. LOLC Finance Fixed Deposits. Maximize your savings. LOLC Finance PLC, incorporated on the 13th of December 2001, is rated SLA stable by ICRA Lanka Limited and is licensed by the Monetary Board of the Central Bank of Sri Lanka under the Finance Business Act number 42 of 2011.
Banking sector return on equity, which is a key ratio that is used to gauge the attractiveness of the sector by investors, made an about turn in 2020 as the sector delivered robust earnings, defying the pandemic-induced challenges. According to the latest data, the banking sector return on equity climbed to 11.3% in 2020, the highest in 2 years after sector earnings reached a record high on the back of emerging credit growth despite the higher credit costs on account of possible bad loans. That ends Economic News.
Saving money isn't easy when you have responsibility. That's why we promise to give you the best returns and guarantee on your investment. LOLC Finance Fixed Deposits. Maximize your savings. LOLC Finance PLC, incorporated on the 13th of December 2001, is rated SLA stable by ICRA Lanka Limited and is licensed by the Monetary Board of the Central Bank of Sri Lanka under the Finance Business Act number 42 of 2011.
Weather Report was sponsored by
Dialogue, in partnership with the Ministry of Education, introduces Nanasa, a trilingual educational mobile app with video-based lessons for grade 1 to A-levels. Now your child can study with ease on your mobile with no subscription fee.
Finally, it's a look at the weather report. The Met Department says showers or thunder showers may occur at a few places in western, Sabaragamuwa and central provinces and in Galle and Mathura districts in the evening or night. Misty conditions can be expected at some places in central, Sabaragamuwa and western provinces during the morning. The sun is going to be directly over Sri Lanka during 5th to the 14th of April. The nearest areas of Sri Lanka over which the sun is overhead tomorrow noon are Colombo, Malvana, Kosgama, Sitawaka, Maldenia, Rosala Talawakale, Sita Elia, Etampitiya, Passara, Varalanda and Palladi Kalapua. That was the weather report.
Weather Report was sponsored by
Dialogue, in partnership with the Ministry of Education, introduces Nanasa, a trilingual educational mobile app with video-based lessons for grade 1 to A-levels. Now your child can study with ease on your mobile with no subscription fee.
Prior to concluding this bulletin of news, the headlines once again. The ringleader of Easter Sunday terror attacks identified. The renovated Peta floating market will be vested with the public tomorrow. Financial assistance given to recultivate tea increased. Police launched special operations to nab drunken drivers. With that, we conclude the news, and over to my friend and certainly yours, who's all geared up to keep you entertained with a wonderful collection of music indeed. Over to you, Chandima.